Buenos
Claire,
dias.
let me use that microphone.
No, I have to use this microphone.
Why?
Because you need as much cushion around your mic as possible.
Why?
Because you laugh and yell and scream the most. Plus,
Can you get a new...
your like lipstick or makeup was on that one, and I just couldn't foresee putting it up to my lips with comfortability. We can get new ones.
Yeah, that is so ghetto. What is the point of these? Why can't we just do the blocks?
Because it's like a buffer between yelling or talking directly into the mic. So the feed, it's you know when singers have those little screens in front of the mic, it's like a sound pad. It's helps with distortion and peaking but we can buy another one. But for those of you who aren't watching, my microphone cover is
Mangled.
partially demolished because Michael got to it. I was just working. I work from home. So I was just working and I heard like rip tear, and like just kind of sounded like rubber was being chewed on. And I was like, that's not right. They don't have toys that sound like that. And I turned back and Michael had gotten to the microphone and was chewing it up. So
One of the dogs swallowed an entire, I don't want to say rope, but a string that goes around a dress. We don't know which dog, but swallowed the entire thing and threw it up. And I'm just so grateful that it didn't get stuck. And I slept through it. It all happened while I was sleeping in my room.
I don't really think they swallowed it.
Claire, it was soaking wet and it had bile all over it.
It would have come out their poop hole.
Not if they throw it up, it would have gotten stuck. It wouldn't have digested all the way through their intestines. An entire string of like thick
Fabric.
cloth.
Yeah. No, it was bad. It was a little scary. But all's well. All's well that ends well. Guys,
As Paul would say.
as Pa Ingalls would say, welcome back to Are You Okay? This is episode 9. We're almost at 10, which is crazy. Although I feel like we started this a long time ago and we should be way past the 10 episode mark. But something's better than nothing. I'm Claire, your co-host with my sister and co-host Bridget.
I thought you were going to say best friend.
Oops. Aw, with my co-host and best friend,
Free therapist.
Bridget. Shut up.
Just kidding.
We got in a fight the other night, and I don't know, it just was that, whatever. Sometimes we fight and it's like real, and sometimes we fight and you can tell that we're both just kind of like, ugh, over it. And so I was like, I'm done. And I went upstairs and she yelled, she screeched at me from the bottom of the stairs, "You need help!"
I said, get help.
Oh, get some help. And it was the way she screeched it was so funny. And so I'm up there like supposed to be mad, and I was like laughing my head off. Anyway, it was what is that? Was it Kris Jenner? Or maybe it was when Khloe yells. When Khloe yells into the phone after Tristan cheats on her, she yells, "Liar! Liar!" And she like screams. It just had that kind of energy, and it just cracked me up.
Thank you.
Anyway. So, how are ya?
Good.
I knew this would happen. Our lives aren't that exciting. And we went 2 months without recording last time, so we had stuff to tell you guys. And now it's like, I was in the car on the way back from work today, and I was like, what's different about my life? Like, what do we say?
This is why I don't think it should be a lifestyle vlog. It should be a health and wellness vlog because, or whatever we are, podcast. We're too boring to be like, yeah, I went to Malibu. You were in Dubai.
We worked. Our mom's in town, so that's been cute. We had a little baby shower for our sister who's expecting her third. So that was really cute. We've been seeing our siblings a lot more and like our mom and stuff like that. So that was really sweet. That was really nice.
That was fun.
You have a little vacation coming up.
Well, I'm working.
Oh, you're
but
working.
I am going to New Hampshire. Grandpa's going to meet Phil. Phil's going to meet Grandpa, actually, is the proper way to say it.
Her fiance.
What else are we going to do? I think I'm going to bring my dress to the seamstress.
Bridget's got a wedding dress.
Kind of.
She's getting it altered.
No, we're just creating a new dress. We're putting two
Bridget
dresses
has two
together.
dresses that are like meshing.
Yes.
It should be really cool.
There'll be none like it. No one else will have this dress.
That's true. Very Kardashian of you. Except for that they were both like $17 each.
Yeah, about.
Okay, and then I'm probably going to go away for a few days when you come back. We can't leave at the same time because we live together with 3 dogs. So we can never really vacation together right now. When we lived apart, we could because I would get someone to watch my dog and you'd get someone to watch your dog and then we could hang out. But now that we kind of are each other's dog moms, yeah. So I'm leaving after she gets back. I think. Who knows? I never really know. But that's sort of the plan right now. Work's going well.
Yes, going well.
First or second
working
week?
from home.
Second week this week.
I have no idea.
Oh, there's a pretzel under my foot, and Usa's been like attacking my foot all this time. And I was like, what is she doing?
Did she get it?
She wanted the pretzel.
That's kind of gross.
Ew, it's disgusting. I'm sorry, honey. She's eating it, but she doesn't seem too thrilled. Okay, well, what did you want to? Oh, the drink. What are you having to drink? Oh, you don't like it? No.
Do you like it?
Wow, I haven't had a sip yet.
It's another IPA, which we did last time.
I didn't see that.
Athletic Brewing Co. Run Wild Non-Alcoholic Brew.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I mean, they're good cold, good enough cold, but this one is particularly spicy. Like it's very IPA-y, and I just am not a big IPA girl. Come on, Noose.
Well, that's what was so surprising last episode when we had the hazy IPA from Sam Adams. I was expecting it to be like disgusting.
It was more citrusy though, that one.
Yeah, it didn't taste like an IPA at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this has.
This tastes a little bit like dishwasher soap.
Yeah.
I'm giving it a 4.
Wow. I wondered why they weren't all gone.
Ugh,
Oh,
maybe
I'm
a
sorry.
3. Oh no, it's all right. Might be a waste of carbs though.
I weirdly enough
Like
it.
Yeah, because it tastes like watered
pee.
Ew.
Oh no, I don't like.
Pinky.
Ew. Ew, no. I don't know why
You're
I said
blushing.
that. Well, I like the marketing.
Yeah.
It's called The Athletic, or it's called Athletic.
Yeah. Good
And
marketing.
it's, like the vibes are cool. The can.
Vibes are cool. Cool to
Yeah.
look at.
I like
Not
it.
fun to drink.
I like it. It does taste like mud or
you can
tea.
have the rest of them.
Dirty water.
Mud.
I like that. The grassy, muddy taste. We've talked about this before. Yummy. Okay.
All right.
So you wanted to talk about bras.
I did.
So get us started.
Wait, I'm so excited you're letting me do this. I thought we weren't going to do this.
No, I on purpose wore like a really relaxed bra
Yeah.
to the pod today. I haven't been wearing bras around the house. This is pretty intense to talk about, but sorry to all of them.
Since you haven't been wearing them since I told you about this?
Since you told me about this situation.
Yes.
So everyone hear Bridget out.
Hear me out. I am fascinated by this on many fronts. You know, we just do things because it's what we've always been taught as a culture, and it's definitely different culture to culture. We've traveled enough to see that, like, you know, there are different norms for dressing and modesty or whatever it is throughout different cultures.
Yes.
What's acceptable, what's not. Like, looking beautiful in Latin America is equivalent with looking sexy. So it's like, usually it's the tighter and the shorter, and like that's just what they wear. Mm-hmm. Anyway, we just were raised in like a pretty, what's the word? Conservative household where like modesty was definitely emphasized. We were also tomboys, so for the longest time we were wearing like, well, I think we still kind of are, but the loose clothes and the long shorts. We would wear boys' swim trunks over our Speedo swimsuits. Not our best look, and I thought I had a chance in hell with any of the boys I had a crush on, and my swim trunks were longer than theirs. Ew.
We were horribly dressed. We were horribly dressed children when we were like little rats because we were homeschooled till we were like in middle school, and we lived in this big house in the middle in the woods. We were like little earth rats, and we just wore. I don't remember a single outfit growing up where I was like, I feel cool and good. Like we didn't care.
I was like, why doesn't Tim Wrench like me back? And I had 2 T-shirts on and literally carpenter shorts below my knees. And I'm like, I'm beautiful.
Oh, we should go through the photos when we go home.
Ugh.
We didn't know because I mean when you just grow up homeschooled, your only friends are your siblings. You are outside 95% of the time. You just throw on stuff that like you can play in. Like the only outfit I remember was like a Hawaiian shirt.
Oh my gosh. I think it had flames on it. Here's the thing though. It's not just that we were tomboys and we were homeschooled. I honestly think, and this is why this bra conversation is so interesting to me, I think so many people in the Christian conservative circles think modesty, they so overhype modesty to the point of the other end of the pendulum where it's like the uglier and more unattractive and looser your clothes are, the holier you are. And it's like, we've lost, it's just such BS. And then we just do these things because it's what we've always done. I was on Instagram, which is the great source of learning new things. And it was a video about a study that had been conducted. I should have pulled it up. I actually meant to for the podcast, but a study that had been conducted over a series of years that wearing a bra, basically the amount of time in a day that a person wears a bra exponentially and directly increases their odds of breast cancer. And I'm not sure if this was only underwire bras, which I'd already heard that about underwire bras, but I just think bras in general are unhealthy because they block your lymph nodes from draining. And breast cancer almost always starts in the lymph nodes. So if you're going years and years and years where more hours of the day than not you're wearing a bra and your lymph nodes aren't draining, it's just really bad for you. So I saw this study and I was like, that's fascinating. Like, bras are not good for us. And so then I wanted to do a little more homework into what bras, who thought of them? They're so weird.
Yeah.
So I looked, and sure enough, bras were an invention of the early 20th century, early 1900s. A woman invented them, and it was because she wanted to get rid of corsets, and corsets were super uncomfortable. They go around the waist. They make your waist super tiny. But in addition to making your waist tiny, corsets were designed to push your boobs up. They were cleavage increasers. And that was part of the point. You wanted to lift your boobs up and show them off for increased cleavage. So the bra was a replacement.
Who made the corset? Who invented a corset?
I don't know. That's been around for centuries, the corset. But the bra was meant to replace the purpose of a corset, like take the same purpose, but with a more comfortable design. So I'm sitting here thinking, one, bras are bad for us just physically. And then on top of that, they were created as a part of a whole movement to increase in cleavage, showing off your boobs. So kind of, really, bras draw more attention to your boobs, or at least kind of sexify them, make them more sexy than not wearing one. I'm just mind blown.
And they cause cancer.
And they cause cancer. And our whole lives, we've just been conditioned, like, if someone wasn't wearing one, and like part of it is culturally, like we can't just like throw culture norms away because you can scandalize people that way. There is something to be said for like, oh my gosh, we were just raised, like parents and Christians particularly have like died on this hill. Like, oh, a girl who doesn't wear a bra is loose. And it's like, some of these things are ideals that we've just passed on generation to generation that we're missing the point. The principle of it is like, oh, this is more modest. And it's like, well, not if you look at history. Like, this was created to make boobs sexier.
Yeah, but what did they do beforehand? Because there's something to be said about them being held in place or like,
Totally.
and not necessarily to look a certain way, but like practicality of it. Yeah.
Yeah, Phil asked the same thing. He's like, don't you sometimes want them to stay where they are?
Yeah.
Like, no, and I am not saying, oh my gosh, bras are useless. Like, never wear one. And I think there are times where
I wore one the other day, like a real one, and I was so self-conscious around you. I was like,
oh, Claire, no, I worry about you because you wear the tight sports bras and you have tension in your back.
I don't really do that anymore.
Oh, that's good because it's just not good for your back either.
Yeah.
So I am not saying like, let's get rid of bras. I'm just saying here we are as a culture, and particularly growing up in a Christian conservative household where modesty was hyper emphasized.
Yeah.
And we believed this thing, and then you look at it and it's like, wait, these aren't good for us. And on top of that, the invention was in itself created to be immodest, not modest. So it's really more for me. It's not like arguing the practical usage of bra or even that there are proper times and place to wear them.
Yeah.
It's more that I was just like mind blown that this thing that we've just believed forever because it's what we were taught.
Yeah.
And I just feel like that's a common theme in conservative Christian households. And I don't mean to, people obeying their conscience is beautiful. That's what we're called to do. But I do think that there are certain hills Christian conservative households parents die on, that aren't even objectively rooted in truth. It's just like, this is what we've done culturally. Yeah. And culturally in an Anglo-Saxon European culture. That's the other thing. It's like there are cultures where the legs are much more protected. Like the Dominican Republic, you don't wear shorts because the legs and the hips, those are actually where your sex organs are, and that's where the baby comes from. Like there's more sacredness there.
Yeah, but the women, they're like titties out.
Yeah,
sometimes.
They're breastfeeding openly in church. They're not covering, which I don't know. I think that's beautiful. Like breasts
that
are
would
for
horrify
nursing your babies.
That would horrify anyone in America.
I remember on one of the mission trips, we were packed in this little church like sardines, and Joey Kuplak was sitting next to this woman, like shoulder to shoulder, and there weren't enough seats, so I was literally standing in the behind the pew. There wasn't even a pew I was in. And they were sitting like this, and like her baby's head was like literally in, kind of on his arm. And then all of a sudden she just whips her breast out to start feeding her baby. And Joey sat up like this and he was just staring straight ahead.
Yeah, because if you take American college boys to a culture where that can happen, it's going to be like, they're going to be like, oh my gosh.
Which is why I'm not suggesting we just all go bearing our bosoms.
No,
I just think
we're America's not ready for that.
right, and we don't want to. If it's a sexual thing here, there's a certain
Right.
honor to the norms of a culture.
Which some of our trips to the Dominican Republic, we were asked not to wear shorts, and if you were,
and we did,
and we would, which is we're so bad,
It's so rude,
so inconsiderate.
my tan lines are gonna be awful if I'm wearing scrubs.
And it's like 1,000 degrees. But anyway, there was a trip actually where we wore leggings or under our shorts and like scrub pants, and like we did follow the rules. But if that is obviously something in America you wouldn't really ever have to worry about. Like you can just wear shorts. Like no one's gonna really second guess that at all. So it's interesting the differences. But no, I think for me, I'm all about like health. Like I'm a purist, you know what I mean? Like I'm all about that. So when you brought to my attention that they could be harmful,
right.
I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to take that seriously.
Yeah. I made Mom get a new one.
Yeah, like if that's a good point. Like you never know, and we do a lot of things because it becomes normal. We don't even know the history of it or the harm of it, you know, because it's just so something that's so ingrained in like everyday life. So, and
that's no one's fault. I guess what mostly blew my mind was that this is something we grew up believing. Most Christian households, their women are having to unstrap their bra even while they're nursing, and like
I never understood
take their shirt
that.
off, cover.
Yeah,
I don't either.
the like panic when a woman goes to feed her baby, the panic, like
it's so weird.
The cover up panic and like the stress that goes. Everyone like holds up, and it's even as a kid I was always like, wait, what? This is like
I know. There's nothing scandalous about it. People have these laws that they abide by and they follow by, particularly in these like very strict conservative Catholic households, that aren't necessarily true.
Yeah.
And aren't objective, maybe aren't even biblical. And that was what blew my mind about the bra, because it was like,
yeah,
we've said this thing, we've been taught this thing, like bras are good and modesty. And it's like, who said? Wait a second, it's increasing people's odds of cancer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't tell me this is good for us and an absolute must. It's
right.
Like, nah, bra.
Right. Yeah. Free the titties.
Thank you for that. It's been on my mind.
She was like, I know what we're going to talk about next podcast. How bras are bad. And I was like, what in the hell is this podcast even?
Claire came to me. I could tell it took great courage. She was like, Bridget, I don't really like her podcast.
Well, our styles are so different.
I want to talk about sports. And I was like, you have the wrong co-host.
No. Yeah, probably. Realistically, our pasts are just so different. Not our childhood, there's so much that we're like connected on, and like we can talk for hours about certain things. And then there are some things like, to me, I couldn't give less shits about that she's like really into. And Bridget comes from like the political space. That was her direction from like 18 onward. It's been over a decade of her life. And I come from like,
you go to runways on the weekend and watch cars skid.
Autos.
I'm like, I want to die.
We couldn't,
stays for hours and just watches these lemon cars like all over the place.
Drifting.
Skidding.
Sports, fitness, sports. I'm a little more like, I don't really ever have an opinion. I don't like watch the news. I don't follow politics. I don't like dig deep. I couldn't care less. I stopped following all of that probably like 5 years ago, and I haven't really given a shit since.
She said, and Bridget, when you say modest, it makes me cringe.
Yeah, Bridget's always like modesty and and I'm just like,
I'm a counter modesty person. Not
no,
really. That sounds
no.
scandalous.
You're a free spirit.
I'm a free spirit, and I think there are a lot of things that a lot of hills Christians have died on that are not. Looking as shitty as possible so men don't objectify you is not biblical.
Oh yeah. Some ugly ass girls out there who are actually really pretty, but they dress like
they don't give a shit.
Scarecrows.
Like they're depressed. Scarecrows.
Yeah.
And it's not.
I don't think
that's
that's
not
okay.
what God meant.
I don't think I was saying to you the other day, like we could try harder. Like
I'm
look
wearing
at
a
us.
hat to cover my eyes. I realized at one point
Fix it.
you were talking and I was like,
Yeah, I'm going like this to even see your eyes.
I don't want anyone to see my
No,
eyes.
I
Your
mean-
dog bit my eyes, so there's a big pimple thing
We
right
cannot
here.
forget my dog was found in a dumpster.
So was Mikey.
Yeah, well, Mikey has physical health problems because he was a stray, and mine has behavioral issues because her lineage is completely undomesticated.
I wish you could put the camera on him right now.
Michael is just sleeping. Michael's the sweetest. They're such sweet dogs. They really, really are. We talk about them a lot because we have nothing else going on in our lives.
So should we ask our questions?
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
This is Claire's idea.
Oh, okay. So I thought of a new segment.
She thought of a new way to keep me off of topics she doesn't like.
Well, I just thought of a new way to introduce new topics. And yeah, these are more like on the wellness side of things. I'm not going to be like, what's your favorite race car?
But you're going to say race. I was like, oh, Claire. I don't think we
What's
talk.
your favorite
I like
race
little
car?
Dominican babies.
Oh my gosh, I'm cutting that part out. Okay, no. So we decided we'd start a new segment, especially on the episodes where we just like need a prompt to kind of catalyze. Is that a word? The catalyst of the
I don't know what
conversation.
the verb of that is. That's the
Catalyze. I will. Yeah. PSA. I make up words, like 100% make up words, which I did. I believe last podcast there was a completely made up word, but if it makes sense,
It worked.
everyone let it go. Okay, so we're just gonna ask each other questions. These questions I ask you one, you ask me one, and we don't know the question ahead of time.
Mikey, what do you think?
It's not for the dogs.
I know, but you said I ask you one, you ask me one. Who else would we be asking? Sorry, I'm being really rude. Cut that out, please.
Okay.
Can you?
Okay, so my question, I'll go first. My question for you is, you're 29, you're nearly 30. We're further away from 20. We're closer to 30 than we are 20, right? So we feel like we're on that like
Decline.
No, not decline. But like we're in that upper echelon of our 20s moving into the prime of adulthood. What would your advice be for your 21-year-old self? Or maybe like your 18 through 21-year-old self, that younger, early adult, like maybe post-college kid who's seeing kind of the real world for the first time.
Oh, man.
Just some advice.
Well, first thing, I would probably have gotten on antidepressants sooner, to be honest. I think I just tried so hard for years to push through. And I don't beat myself up for that because I think my reasons were good. You know, I wanted to avoid that if I could. And I'm not saying it solved all my problems, but there are just certain things that, like, if you need help to get through them if you need the juice and the tool to go do what you need to do, you should get that help. And I just wish I had gone on it sooner. I think I thought I had a lot of real friends who were not real friends, and I would have just said, hey, and I probably wouldn't have listened to myself, but I would say very few people are self-aware and mature and selfless enough, especially in our culture, but just probably in human history, to really love you for who you are. So just be discriminating and wise in the people that you choose to trust and the people you choose to follow, because we are who we surround ourselves with. And I mean, nothing reveals a friend like trying to get your life together and seeing who sticks by your side or not.
Yeah, but that is a good point. Like, I think that too. It's like there's a quantity of people I would not connect with now that made more sense 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 1 year ago. You find people that like work for you at the time. So like we aren't who we were then.
Yeah, but ideally you're growing with people. Like,
True. Your good relationships, they actually get stronger as you get stronger. They get
Yeah.
healthier as you get healthier. And they reveal themselves. With your friends and stuff like that, it is more common than I think people realize. I think that's kind of what we're beginning to say. Like, it's, if you're going to try to shift and grow, it's going to happen. But most people aren't shifting and growing, so they're not experiencing that loss.
Right.
So some people are like, what the hell are these girls talking about? Well, you might be happy and okay with where you're at.
I mean, the relationships I do have now are so much richer and qualitatively far superior. Like, I would take 4 incredible friends over
25 losers.
shitty ones. But I guess what I've realized is, like, I look back on these people now and like they haven't changed whatever. God bless them. I sincerely hope that these people that were in my life are happy. I really do. When I have those moments like, oh man, this is hard. It's like, I look back at how I was when we were compatible, and it's like, never the fuck again am I going to be her. Like, I can't.
Most people don't maybe want their lives to be different, so they don't start pursuing the things that make them better.
It's such a small way to live.
Yeah, but most people don't. Or if they do, they get started. And what's really challenging is when you start to change your life, there is, you walk away from a lot of like tangible things. I've talked about this before on this podcast, but if you're changing your life, you're having to let go of what was.
Right.
And what was at the very least familiar. It was an anchoring point. It was tangible. It was happening. It was in front of you. There was something you could see, something you could hold, something you could feel. You start to make changes with your life. You are walking away from, picture it, what was. So now you're in this dead space where there isn't anything to anchor yourself to. There's no home. There's no core. There's no stability. So most people get to that middle ground where they're floating and they feel like it's aimless and they're in space and there's nothing to anchor themselves to. And they're like, oh, hold on. I don't know where I'm headed. I wanted something different. This is really uncomfortable. I'm going to go back to like what already,
devil I know.
Yeah, what already exists, what's already comfortable, what like makes sense. And that's why a lot of people either don't or they get started and they turn right back around. And
which they all have done. I'm not trying to knock the people we walked away from, but they've gone backward. And I remember that with sobriety. It was so easy for me to decide when to walk, because I could not be with people who were going to compromise my sobriety. I couldn't. Like, it was life and death. I could not afford. And people might not believe me. I think a lot of people didn't think or know that I was an alcoholic, which, whatever. People can.
She is. I can vouch for that.
But that made it very easy up front in the beginning of losing all those people to be like, because there was something on the line that I could not give up that was worth more to me than compromising on whatever it was that was going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, very good.
Crazy. Good question.
Yeah, thank you.
Do you want to tell your 21-year-old self something?
Oh, I didn't even think about you turning this on me.
I'm sure you have good advice.
I would just say, like, if I were to talk to my younger self or anyone at that age, I would say that it gets better and that you get better and that you figure yourself out. And if you're really searching for yourself, you're going to find her. You're going to find yourself. Like, it sounds so cliche, but I've been highly successful over the last decade, high functioning and high achieving. I'm not saying I was a shithead. I wasn't. But I was kind of lost and kind of unsure and saw a version of myself I wanted to be and like didn't have the courage to like be her. You know what I mean? And it was still kind of like, who can I impress and who are my friends and, like the next thing. And it's just so nice to be at a place where like you're kind of like just really cool with yourself. Like, I wouldn't want to ever lose me again. You know what I mean? And over the last 10 years, there's been instances where I've lost me to other people, to relationships in the pursuit of something that wasn't really meant for me, or a pursuit of a relationship or a friendship or a group, or like you just chase things in life and you lose yourself in that pursuit. And if I'm someone out there who's lost me, like these people we talk about who've lost me, like I'd be so upset to lose me. And when I think about that, I think about just like never ever wanting to do anything ever again for the rest of my life where I lose me.
I love that.
And so that's kind of like...
That's integrity. That's literally what integrity is like you're staying at home in who you are, and it's reliable unto your own self and to the people around you. Yeah. Which is just huge. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah. So that was my thought, was just, and I think younger me, like I have the inner child work, which is highly recommended. I have a really hard time doing that because picturing myself even at 21, which was only 7-8 years ago, it's heartbreaking. Mm-hmm. I have a hard time because I was hurting. I've been in pain for decades, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm just kind of starting to like figure out a sense of self despite the pain. Mm-hmm. And that's so exciting. So when I think about myself at 5 years old or 10 or 15 or 17 or 21, like I hurt for her a lot. And I just I want me now at like 28 to go up to her and be like, yeah, bro.
Remember that video I sent you?
You just fucking wait. Yeah.
It was about like, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
That's okay.
No,
my mouth tastes like soap.
It's really gross, Claire.
Is it the beer?
I think it's why I'm forgetting things because I'm choking.
I feel like we've been poisoned.
Ugh, it's hurting my stomach too.
Oh.
I sent you that video. I wish I hadn't cut you off at the end. Did you want to say that again? What you said?
No.
Okay. I sent you and Mary Grace that video, and Amelia too, and it said, your biggest win is that who you are now is someone your childhood self would be safe with.
I think for me, I would go up to 21-year-old me and be like, you're going to want to be you someday. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to want to be her someday.
That's a good way to feel.
Yeah. And I think if I wasn't me and I saw me, I'd be like, I want to be her. I want to be her.
Claire, that is a successful way to feel.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's great.
Thank you. For now.
I think a lot of that is that you taught yourself.
Sure, I'll have a complete down.
You're a little.
I still have so much more I want to do and achieve, and so many things I still want to heal and grow from, and I'm constantly evaluating those things.
Good.
But there's an underlying sense of like, yeah, I'd want to be her.
That's integrity. That is so freaking cool. And I think a huge part of that is that you taught yourself how to be a photographer and videographer, because now you get to like professionally do something that it's kind of one of the reasons I like the job I just started. It's like, I can be an asset here and I enjoy this. I mean, even more so with you, because there's also a creative endeavor element.
It's just the best.
It's amazing.
Yeah. I'd say that to anyone out there who might be like a little bit lost or depressed, like you need to find what sets your heart at peace. Like what resets you. I didn't word that very well, but like what's so good for you? Like what is happiness for you? Like what is joy for you? And like that needs to, if you can't do that full time for a living, like if that can't be your income and your job, I'm lucky enough. Like I'm an editor and I get to do all that, right? If you're not lucky enough to have that, at least pursue it on the weekends or at night, or like find a little side hustle where you get to do that one thing that like reasserts over and over again who you are and what you love about yourself.
I love that.
Well, we have got to go because...
I get to ask you my question.
Well, we can... Oh.
Maybe we ask my question next week.
Okay. Is that okay with you?
It's a completely different pivot, so yes.
Okay. Well, let's just wrap it up.
Mine is a little more depressing.
Oh.
I'll ask you now and you think on it for next week.
Okay.
Single greatest life regret.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to need a week to think about that. Oh my gosh, I'm going to cry.
Oh, do you know what it is?
No, but I'm sure there's one. Next episode, I will answer the question, what is my single greatest life regret? I do have regrets. Some people say that. Oh, no regrets, no regrets. I have regrets. But
it's completely arrogant to have not a single regret.
Right. What I will say about regrets is that you can't do anything about your past. You cannot go back in time.
Right.
So if you can literally, this is so cliche, but if you can learn something from that, if you can gain something from that, you're good to go, because you're not going to repeat it. You know what I mean? You probably won't do it again. Or you can, if you owe accountability to somebody, you can apologize and take responsibility and try to make amends. Like whatever it is. Yeah. If you have regrets, find the lesson, go sort it out. Well, Songbook Cinema real quick.
Okay. I forget what it's called, but it's on Hulu. It's new. It's called Wonderful Perfect Wife or something. It's about this woman who pretends that she got kidnapped and abused, and she ends up having to go to jail for some time because she lied to federal prosecutors. The reason I'm bringing it up is because this just hits home for us, because the criminal justice system is meant to, first of all, we claim as a country innocent until proven guilty. And our criminal justice system is meant to ensure justice, to ensure that wrongs are punished. What blows my mind is, on one end, what people who are guilty can get away with nothing more than a slap on the wrist at times. And then on the flip side, what the criminal justice system can get away with doing to people who have not yet been convicted of a crime. Or worse, people who have been convicted of a crime that there is not compelling evidence that they have committed. So yeah, it's just fascinating. And like up until kind of recently, I was for the death penalty. I thought that there were times where it's warranted, which on paper, yes, I believe there are crimes that 100% warrant the death penalty. But I have lost so much faith in our criminal justice system getting it right that now I'm like, hell no, because I already know there have been people in our history as a country that have been wrongly convicted and put to death for crimes they didn't commit.
Not this lady from the show.
No. She should have had a lot longer in prison.
That lady.
No, she's an example of someone who got a slap on the wrist, which happens all the time. I mean, Governor Newsom last year in California let like 5,000 known convicted child predator, pedophiles, rapists out of jail. Just like they had served less than 5 years. And it's like, that's disgusting. Like, that's so gross. But yeah, I guess I had always thought, like, okay, that shit is gross when someone is not punished justly for what they've done, which for some reason with child crimes is often the case. But on the flip side, and maybe even more like horrifying, is when someone who hasn't done something is just thrown in jail.
Yeah.
It's terrifying. And like before they've even been convicted, they're just sitting in jail waiting for trial. Thousands of dollars are being spent.
You are our Kim K.
I want to be a lawyer.
Be pissed all you want. You are our little Kim K.
Oh, she's so
Annoying.
me.
Okay, well, you have elements of Kim
My
K.
kids exhaust me. It's like, bitch, you've been in Europe for a month.
Just the parts of you that are like a go-getter and that have that legal background and like
Legal background.
pursuit of
I
justice.
watched 2020. I have no legal background.
I'm the one over here whose love life is in shambles, and I'm Chloe.
Claire's waking up to watch F1 in the morning.
I'm what's the guy?
Rob
Kardashian?
So, no, don't cut yourself short.
I'm Rob.
Okay, what's your
cool,
songbook
cool.
cinema?
Mine's a song. I've actually known this artist for a while and knew of this song for a while, but I was like, oh, maybe it was like an old song that I just found, or maybe it's gone viral. I think her name is Charlie Hanson. I wish I had done some research before this. It's called Covering Your Faces. Yeah, I know. You hate my music.
They're just the titles alone are like, what is going on? You're like, it's called Depression.
I bet you wish
Winter
you-
version. I'm like, what?
It's called I Miss You, I'm Sorry. It's called Heartbreak Hotel. It's called
Yeah, they're always so awful.
I got some fun ones on the playlist recently. Little little Sean Paul. Jay Sean, I used to love Jay Sean.
Sean Paul, Blast from the Past.
Sean Paul, you cannot go wrong. I don't think he's
I
ever.
bet you like Sean Diddy Combs.
Good Lord. No, actually. Boo. Miss.
I'm
We watched a documentary on him the other day.
Awful.
No, I don't think I really had a lot of P. Diddy saved. It was like Jay Sean, Sean Paul, Nicki Minaj.
I do love Nicki.
Black Eyed Peas. I used to run on the treadmill to all these people. Sean Kingston. You know, the classics. Oh,
sorry.
you're texting somebody.
Sorry,
We also had a discussion about.
It's about ice cream. I'm really sorry.
We're getting ice cream with our family. That's why we're doing this at 6:45, which we never do.
I'm sorry, Claire. This is really rude.
And
That is very Kim Kardashian.
we stayed very, very focused, and so we're done in about an hour, which is fantastic. We should always have something to do afterwards. I bet you wish you knew me now. You're talking out, covering your faces. You're really going places. She doesn't
When you
sound-
say that, all I see
covering
are
faces.
women in hijabs.
Charlie Hanson. What?
Your voice is better than hers. These people all sound like mice. I
I don't know about that.
wish. Did you see? Oh my gosh, I meant to send it to you. You know the Trey Atkins song? Ugh, damn it. I forget
Ray
it's called.
Atkins. Who the hell is that?
Sorry, that's not the right name. Trey Atkins is a football announcer.
That's Troy.
Oh,
Troy Atkins.
okay. Trey Atkins, I think, is the singer.
Oh.
But he sings a song about his. I'm watching you, Dad. Ain't that cool?
Yeah.
He did a duo of it with his son.
Who's now like 17.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
so cute.
Yeah, cute. I don't really do country, but it's cute.
I know, that's why I didn't send it to you.
Yeah. Country.
Didn't waste my time.
This is good, Bridget. This beer. I don't know what you're talking about. Some pretzels? With some pretzels?
Ugh.
Beer and pretzels.
I had an entire bag of Cheez-Its on my way home from the post office.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well,
I want to keep talking. I'm in the mood.
I know we did a great job today, but we have to go. All right, guys, thank you for listening. We are on Apple Podcast and Spotify, and the video version is on YouTube. And yeah, we'll try to get episode 10 out. Our next episode
10.
as soon as we can. The big 10 is next. So this was 9, but the next one is 10. So hopefully we get that done before the end of July.
Remember that thing they used to do at the doctors where they hit your knee?
Yes.
I just went like this when I said 10, and I triggered it, and it popped up.
Wow. It means you have good reflexes. They could never get my leg to do it.
Like, it kind of hurts. No, I'm dead ass. I'm completely relaxed.
No.
I swear to you, Claire. Like, it kind of hurts because it pops up. Maybe these pants are just too
Interesting.
tight.
Yeah, they're so tight that okay. I knew it. I knew you were gonna lose your fucking shit. I knew you couldn't go a whole podcast acting normal.
Goodbye, everyone. Have a great week. Stay tuned for Claire's greatest regrets.
Yeah. See you next time for my greatest regret. Okay.
Here,
Bye.
Mikey.
No, Bridget, you just tricked him.
Uh-oh.